What's happening, guys? This is Strakosha International, and this is Adi, and I am joined by Martial. We may have one or two others coming to join us later in the show, but we are here to chat about the very late equalizer, 1-1. Olympiacos draws Ike in extra time after a penalty is awarded to Luiz, who gets his debut for Olympiacos since joining just a few days ago. Extremely exciting stuff. There's plenty for us to talk about tonight. But before we do so, Martial, how you doing, my friend?
Well, I was minutes away from saying that the week was almost a disaster for me, not for Olympiacos in general, but for me. But the fact that we scored that penalty, uh, I'm not gonna say it's a game changer, but it's a momentum changer, I would say, because if you take some distance from the standings, knowing that we have to play plays off, those derbies you have to play during the regular season only matters that you basically need to avoid losing big time to create bad momentum and stuff. So the late equalizer is almost a win for the team, in my opinion. I know it's kind of not bullshit, but it's a deja vu kind of sentences. But the thing is, when you equalize like that, you kill their momentum, one, and you give yourself a boost to play away in Tripoli. And if you win there, you're the leader of the league, and everything is right again.
Yes, you're absolutely right. We're going to talk more about the match in just a moment. But for everybody that's tuning in, a few dozen of you already have. There's a couple dozen of you currently listening right now. Take a quick second, guys. It literally costs you nothing, but it means so much to the channel for us to find more red and white fans. Hit that like button. And for those of you that are not already subscribers, listen. And if you like what you hear, consider subscribing and getting notified of every time we go live. A lot of great stuff happens on this channel. You can also check out our Patreon content. The Luiz deep dive, the scouting report, is now available on Patreon. I got some great feedback from it already from some professionals, and they were pretty they agreed with me on most of my takes as far as Luiz is concerned. So check that out. We give all the latest on what you can expect from the player. Luiz, as you guys know, could potentially be the biggest signing in Olympiacos history. If the bonuses are met, they will get over 16 million euros from Olympiacos. That would be the most expensive signing in Olympiacos' history. So you can check that out on Patreon, or you could just join the WhatsApp group for $1 a month. Promise you, it is one of the most entertaining things that you can get for $1. That is for sure best value for your money. Now, before we talk about the game, we have a couple of quick things to talk about with respect to what's been going on and some housekeeping. Olympiacos' women won 10-0 again today against the International Academy 3BAS, whatever they are. They have a Valencia logo. Anyway, our women won 10-0 again. They've scored 91 goals now, Martial, in the league. Naya Benyamin, the leading goal scorer, now has 30 goals by herself. 30 goals by herself. The women are just absolutely insane. They're walking this league. They are easily they should be promoted. I think when they score 100 goals, they should just get promoted. Haven't conceded a single goal and have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they deserve to be in the second division. Now, guys, there's a bunch of you already checking in already from England, Denmark. Oh, check this out. Teresa_May. Denmark is here. I love it. I absolutely love it. Guys, let us know where you are tuning in from. We love to engage with you, so keep the comments coming because we will address them. I promise you guys, we definitely will. Before we also touch into the game, guys, it's been a little bit of a transfer mania at Olympiacos. We've got players leaving. Yaramchuk, Olympic Lyon. We have Strefetza going to Parma. It looks like Gustavo Mancha could be headed on loan to Rio Ave to replace some of what we've taken from them because Luiz is already here. He had his debut today. And Clayton, their striker, is also going to be signing for Olympiacos. That is about a 5 million euro purchase from Olympiacos. So Olympiacos is going to be sending well over 20 million euros potentially to the way of Rio Ave, which will definitely go quite far into paying their debts. So lot of movement going on. There's plenty that we'll talk about on on Patreon. You will also get the transfer corner. I will be recording another transfer corner where we share some very sensitive information, but only with the patrons. So a lot of stuff going on. Names we drop all the time. So all of that will be coming on Transfer Corner. Now, Martial, let's talk about the match today. It was what I like to call an Olympiacos special, a Mendilibar special, right? It's always ugly. We knew it was going to be a rough game. It didn't start great. For the first 20 minutes or so, Ike didn't really do much. They had 2 half chances, but neither did we. But then right from that Podence opportunity at the 18th minute onward, it was our half. We had plenty of opportunities, some great saves by Ike's goalkeeper Strakosha. And then in the second half, they get their first good chance of the night off of a corner kick. A corner kick, which, by the way, the play preceding that, they were offsides. I have the satellite image. I have the top-down bird's eye view image from the camera. They were offsides in the play leading there. It was not called. They were offsides before that, but then we give up a really poor goal, terrible man marking. Looked like it was Retzos and Chiquinho marking Vargas there. And unfortunately, we let a goal in. Ike then started to get themselves back into the game. A little bit of back and forth. Andre Luiz comes on. Gelson comes on. Muzakitis comes on. Yazici comes on. Even Bruno Nyamaichi came on. So we made a bunch of changes. It started to get very tense. Ike was getting very physical, playing very dirty at times. And in extra time, Mehdi Taremi gets a penalty earned by Andre Luiz, makes his first contribution with a penalty. Technically, in that phase of play, there were 3 penalties that could have been called, but he gets called for a penalty. Mukudi is the one that basically steps on Andre Luiz's heel. Stupid penalty to give up, but he gives it up. Taremi equalizes. We salvage a point. Give me your thoughts on the match, Martial.
Well, I think it was a two phases game for me. The first half was quite good. We had situations. The Rodinez one being the biggest one in my opinion. It should have been a goal because a part of the goal itself, it would have been a very lovely goal, starting from Podence to Ortega to Rodinez. But the thing is, we failed to convert. We really failed to convert during the first half. I don't know if it's because the team was tired, if it's because we had some changes in the lineup, but you always get punished when you don't convert in those kind of game, because even if Ike, in my opinion, did not really had the top game, it looks like a European game. I mean, if you have some mistakes, sometime you will pay the price. And the set pieces we ate was one because we needed to do better. And Varga, we knew Varga was a good striker, good heading ability. So there was a smell of predictability in this game, like with the intensity I put on the game, the falls, the fact that like Rota was always on the ground and stuff. We knew all of that. We knew all of that, and we almost fell into the trap. The biggest positive for me is that the team refuses to lose. And I complained during the game about the quality of the Olympiacos game, but the thing is, when you only have one league loss in February, even in the Greek league, because it's difficult to truly lose against Kifisia and stuff. But when you do have one loss in February, it means that you are difficult to beat. And when you are difficult to beat, you have more chances to win the league. So that's the biggest positive for me. And it's very similar to the game we played in Leoforos, if you remember. The goal we scored there basically means that you don't lose this game, you don't drop points to the opponent, and we will most likely enter plays off with few points more or less than the competition. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like 2 or 3 points max for the leader to the second team. So that's why it was really really important not to lose tonight.
Martial, how worried are you about certain players in this team? Because, in the regardless of whatever refereeing decisions happen, right? Me, I had big issues with a couple of things. First, I'm starting to really panic about Daniel Podence. Oh, look, there's Costa joining. Costa, what's up, my friend? Welcome. You came at a perfect time.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Good to see you as well. We are literally just starting to talk about the game. Martial gave his thoughts. Give us your thoughts about the game today.
I want to say it was a fair result, 1-1. I don't think we deserve to lose the game. I think it's, not really a sexy game. The first 20 minutes, it was a typical kind of Greek derby, mid-quality, more physical than anything. And then I thought after the first 20 minutes, we took control of the game. We had created some chances and, they scored against the run and play. There's a lot of talk about refereeing decisions at the end of the game. Ajax chairman's come out and made a load of statements after the game about the refereeing. But, if you talk about refereeing, we can talk about offside leading to the corner for Ajax, etc. But overall, I thought 1-1 was a fair result. We didn't deserve to lose that game today, and we're still in the title race. Look, we're beginning of February, and we have a game in hand that if we win on Wednesday, we go top. So, coming off that European game as well against Ajax, I think it's we all wanted to win that game today, but it's when you can't win, at least don't lose. So that's kind of my first reaction to the game.
I think when it comes to the match itself, I have the stats pulled up right in front of me. We had, in the end, if we're going to look at this face value, we had more opportunities. We had more opportunities on target. This is including the penalty. Our XG was 1.75, 2.77 with the penalty. So that means non-penalty, it was still 1 and 2. So our finishing was actually not half bad. We were getting plenty of opportunities on target. Strakosha saved a lot. And I see this more glass half full. I know there was a lot of complaints about how poorly we were playing, but man, until Ike scored, they could not get into our final third, man. From that 18th minute when Podence had the back heel, and that point until their goal, they couldn't cross into our third. We had control of the game. Sure, our offense maybe wasn't great, but we had control of this game. And quite honestly, man, we should have scored. We wasted the chances. We should have scored. Podence, man, when Taremi intercepts that back pass and plays it one time to Podence, and then Podence, I have no idea what he's doing, just completely misses Taremi in the box.
It was a 3-on-1.
Yeah. Man, I don't understand. Like that was another, that doesn't even show up as far as XG is concerned. That was another opportunity we completely screwed up. So we had so many chances to score. We were the better team. They scored their first chance. It's happened. Look what we did in Champions League. It happens. This is football. But if we play this game 10 times, we probably win that game without having this issue 6 or 7 out of 10 times. I'm sure of it. The big thing for me is we did this without our starting left center back, Pirola, and our starting forward, El Kabi. So we were away. It's always difficult to play away.
We were in our country home. To be fair. We weren't away. We were playing in the country home. They still haven't beat us. in the country home.
The vacation home.
They still haven't beat us. For the record.
Very true. Very true. But
there's something. No, this is a point to make, though. I swear. ever since we won our first European trophy in that stadium, there's something about Olympiacos whenever we go and play there. And I'm sure that for the players that were there on that day, it counts for something. And you go into that stadium feeling like you own it in some way. I'm sure, like, mentally, there is an element of that. It's like the game looked to be, ending 1-0, and you think, okay, but there was always something in the back of my mind. I think something's going to happen. We're going to get a goal, or and that's what happened today. So I am giving a bit of banter, as like on the one hand, but on the other hand as well, I think there's a mental, like, psychological edge that we have whenever we go and play them over there, and the more they can't beat us, the more it's going to be in our favor.
Yeah. I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there. And depending on what, we have Clayton coming in. Marcel and I briefly touched about the outgoings and the incomings. When we see what reinforcements we get, I really do think we'll be fine. When I really think we're going to be fine down the stretch as the season continues. I think we're going to be fine, especially as we get into the playoffs. Without Strakosha's saves today, we beat Ike. We probably scored 3 goals against them. He had some great saves today. But
there was the Taremi header. He got down.
Bretzos?
Bianconi, you mean? From the Bruno cross from the left hand side, and Luiz headed down.
Earlier than that. Bretzos had a header too in the first half.
I don't remember that.
Unless I'm mistaking him for somebody else. I'll have to look it up.
There was the Biancon shot on target towards the end of the game where he got down low.
And then Yazici gets one. He gets a double. He hits the defender on the second one.
Yeah, I think Pineda's like gone to ground, blocked the first one. He's on the floor and he gets his leg up and blocks it the second time. That was an incredible scene at the end.
Yeah, I mean there were some great saves. Rodinei had a really great chance too
at the beginning of the game. Yeah,
and I mean he kind of hits it. That was our first shot of the night, and he kind of like hits it. Sure, he hits it sort of right at the keeper, but some keepers, if their reflexes aren't good enough, they let that go. I mean, so it was still an impressive save by him, all things considered. I think Strakosha had a great night, man. He's been
playing well this season. He's in good form. Last season, he was eating a lot. He was getting a lot of criticism, but he's been really good this season with Ike.
Yeah, for sure. Great game.
Because he was horrendous the season before, like the first one when he came back to Greece. But yeah, the save he pulled on Rodinei, it's I mean, I thought it would have been a goal even with the save, because it was a little bit more powerful, and it would have been pointless to try to save it because it would have been a save behind the line. It's difficult to turn a right back into a winger when it comes to situations like that, because when you do see the replay, he smelled the fact that Ortega would cross there. So I can't complain on the fact he missed, because he smelled the situation, but the execution is not the one from a winger, and it's normal because he's more defender in his mind, and that is the situation in which you expect the winger to score. And guys like Andre Luiz, for example, probably would have scored that. We'll never know. But
what were your thoughts, Andre Luiz's first touches today, guys? Seeing him, we already brought up, he could be potentially the most expensive transfer in Olympiacos' history. He's a player that came not just highly rated, but highly recommended. I did the scouting report. I have a lot of positive things to say about him. Some concerns I have as well, but I was happy when I saw him get the touches. I was happy to see the runs that he made. We'll see how things go forward, but I think he's going to be a great alternate option for us to have on the wing. What did you guys see of his first touches? Yeah, Marcel, you go first.
The biggest positive for me with Andre Luiz is the physical level of the guy, because when you think of it, football is a very physical sport, and sometimes, especially in Olympiacos, we tend to forget that if you don't sign a physical dominant player, it's not going to deliver, because Greek league is not the best league on earth, but it's still a serious league, and you need to be physically ready to play in it. And the way he came in showed that it's going to be very interesting for the team, because unlike Yazici is able to break the low blocks with the feet, like the technique, the passes, shots, long shots, and stuff. But I think Andre Luiz will destroy those blocks by running, and is so powerful. And the penalty he earned tonight is a proof of that, because Mukudi is one of the most physical center back of the league. So if you want to outplay Mukudi like that and to earn a penalty, you have to be like as powerful as him. And the way he moved, also, I remember he gave the header on Biancon, if I'm not mistaken. The volley of Biancon is
Yes.
right from an header from Andre Luiz. So he's tall, but he's so fast, given the height he has. I mean, it's, you said it before, Ari, before we went live. Like, he's a physical, not physical miracle, but the
Specimen.
formula he has is very rare. Like, he's tall, he's fast, he's powerful, so it's gonna be very difficult to handle as a defender.
Yeah. And what you said about, Mukudi is very physical. And you saw prior to the penalty, like, Mukudi is holding his jersey, he's grabbing him. And Andre Luiz is still getting forward, man. He wasn't stopping. And, we have a lot of, or I guess now that Strafezza's gone, less, but, we have some diminutive, right, wingers. And they can't have that physical battle with Mukudi. But Andre Luiz, man, like, just kept going. And then, the pooling, it didn't matter to him. It's like having another Gelson. And for reference, guys, Gelson and Bruno Onyemaichi are the fastest players on this team. Andre Luiz is as fast as Gelson Martins is. I had that confirmed for me. So it's crazy, man. It absolutely insane. So to have that speed now, on both flanks is fantastic. We have both of them. Hopefully Podence figures out what's going on and we get him back rolling again, because then we have some great looks on the flanks from these players. Really excited. Costa?
I just wanted to add something before Costa goes, but you talked about Bruno, and the physical level of Bruno for me is a reason enough to keep him on the squad, because for a backup, even if he did not came in properly tonight, it's gonna be useful at some point. Like, the way he's physical against smaller team always matters at some point. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, from my end, I think he definitely brings something different compared to all the wingers that we've seen this season. Like you said, Ari, you look at Strafezza, you look at Podence, even Gelson, like, they have this diminutive presence. They're not really like physical beasts. I mean, Gelson physically, in terms of sprinting and acceleration, okay, fine. But I mean, the guy's what, 186, 187 centimeters tall, Andre Luiz.
185 is what Scott has.
He's a big boy. And, this is a difficult game to come into. A derby. He's had what, 2-3 training sessions? Not even, yeah, two, 3 training sessions with the team. One with snow in Amsterdam. What you can see in my eyes, there were a couple of moments during the game today where you can just see that he's a click or a step ahead of everybody else from a physical perspective and acceleration and strength. It's just, that kind of player that you don't really see often in the Greek Super League. like I've never watched the guy play as much as I have today. It's the first time I've ever seen him play. I haven't watched any Rio Ave games. I haven't really sat and watched any tape. We got some interesting insights about the player. I'm really curious to see more. It's early days, but what can we say from the first game? I mean, the guy's won a penalty. I think Martial's spot on to just make the point about Mukudi. He's one of the most physical, if not the most physical defender, size-wise, in the league. And to win that penalty today, that's a great contribution from him already. And I'm kind of surprised that Mendeleev's thrown him in as a first sub. He's put him out on the right wing. I know we had some question marks about whether he's going to be playing out on the right, whether he'll be playing behind the striker, whether you were worried he might stick him out on the left.
Oh my God. You have no idea how much I worried.
So, it's a positive contribution from his first game. And it's important that we've come out of that game with, a result that's not a loss. And we have that game in hand on Wednesday and we can carry momentum. So, it looked like you had some good cooperation with Rodney. Language obviously helps. Generally, man, settled in well. It didn't. If you're watching that game and you don't know much about Olympiacos or that we just signed Andre Luiz, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's a player that came 3 days ago.
If you only could tell for those of us that know about our press, because he was nowhere he was supposed to be behind the ball. But yeah, no, otherwise, yeah, I was really happy with, he just seemed like he was fine getting forward the ball. Very confident in that respect. I was happy with it.
The thing is, also we need to come to a conclusion that is the very first minutes of a new signing with Olympiacos basically defines everything, at least in the way you enter the game, especially in a derby. He has a massive room of improvement, but the thing is, he signed like days ago, right after or right before a massive Champions League win. He comes in and he plays as if he was in the league since like months already. And when you compare that to Strakosha, for example, because Strakosha, when he came, had the price tag pinned on his head, and we knew already, just like Vilde before, just like on Yekuru, for example, when you cost that much money, you need to deliver in the very first games. Meaning you need to score, you need to be decisive when you're a winger. And Andre Luiz and Clayton too, when they played with Rio Ave, I think both of them will bring the fact that they might not be total compatible with totally, they don't fit now Mandible at 100%, but they have what it takes, like to break pieces of it, just because they have massive confidence coming from Rio Ave because they were playing good there. And he came in as a confident player. And that's not a surprise because in January, you can only sign 2 categories of player. If you have money, which is the case of Olympiacos right now, even if you don't have massive amount of money, you can buy confident players that were performing in other clubs. Or you can try the way of getting a player that is struggling in the bigger club, and you will have to having bounce back, just like Gelson, just like Tiquinho. And the fact with Clayton and Andre Luiz, we will see confident players, and I think it will make a difference. It will make a difference because it's not always a matter of quality. But in those games, man, when you look at the team of AEK, it's not always quality because in my opinion, we do have more quality than AEK. But sometimes, if Pedense was confident right now, he would have passed the ball properly to Taremi, and it would have been 1-0 before the goal. Most likely, Andre Luiz would have done the right choice at this moment because he brings confidence.
Can I ask, because our Patreon chat, shout out if you haven't enjoyed our Patreon chat and you fancy a bit of proper Olympiacos vibes, the extreme optimism and celebration and the extreme pessimism. It's such a reflection of that. But did Ajax actually do anything this game? Like what chances did they create?
The header off the corner.
The header off a corner that was an offside that led to the corner. The Jovic crossbar where 3 of their players was offside when the ball was crossed in.
Yes.
So what did Ajax actually do to threaten us today?
Koita had a decent take from about 20 meters.
But I don't know, because again, there are some vibes from this game that, you know, we didn't play our best, but at the same time, there's just something that occurred to me. I was thinking about after the Ajax game, and I don't know if you guys talked about it. We did a Greek show, or there was a Greek show after the Ajax game, but I think back even to winning the Conference League, and some people might think I'm going too far, but hear me out. Did we play well against Fiorentina? Like, did we play beautiful, sexy football?
Nope.
What's the main characteristic of this team? Don't say the press. It's the resilience. It's the resilience and the mentality of this team. You can be 1-0 or 2-0 down. They're going to fight until the end. They believe, and it's something that I saw as well. What I felt from seeing the players after the game when I was backstage in the mix zone is the closeness, the togetherness, like that tight knit that they all have as a group. And this club is like, when you're winning, it's a great place to be. When you're not getting results, it can be a really difficult club to be in, like as players. But what you see on the pitch and off the pitch is resilience and fight. And, you know, that's just something I wanted to say, because everyone focuses on the football. I understand. But never don't doubt this team and don't doubt this manager. If there's anything that he's managed to do, is really give us that winning mentality again and instill a resilience in the group. And that's why he's so stubborn about keeping this squad of players, not too many changes, this, that, and the other. You know, change can be good, change can be challenging. I like the 2 signings that we've made, Andre Luiz and Clayton. One thing I will say about both those transfers is that it's one thing to play for Rio Ave. It's something completely different to play for Olympiacos. And the last thing is, if we can sign an experienced centre-back, if there is an experienced centre-back that pops up on the market from now until the 6th of February, seriously consider going for that. Somebody like a backstop, a good experienced centre-back. Biancon, yeah, the vibes, the low block games in Greece where he can bring the ball out the back, but I'm nervous. I'm always a little bit nervous with that Retsos Biancon partnership. So that's my, you know, if there's one thing left on my wish list from now until the end of the window, is if an experienced centre back pops up. But I really wanted to make that point about resilience.
Absolutely. And really quick, before we continue with the discussion about the match, it looks like it was reported on Mega that Iliopoulos, the owner of Ajax, spit on Mendilibar at one point in the post-match. So, garbage owner doing garbage things. What can you say? I see a lot of little Aikaika in here complaining too about the penalty. Guys, Mukudi not only pulled the jersey, he stepped on his heel. A penalty's a penalty. Get over it. It was a penalty. Mukudi's an idiot. Sorry. What do you want me to tell you? Your corner kick was also the result of offside, so stop complaining. That's it. You didn't make many chances. We should have won by more. It is what it is. Cry about it. I'm sorry. Cry about it.
No,
Go ahead, Marcel.
no, I was reading some comments, and the last one about Chiquinho, and I was about to talk about Chiquinho. That was for me the negative X factor of the team. With all due respect to Chiquinho, that is one of the true legend of the team, and I agree with Costa at 100% about resilience, because he does incarnate the resilience. He has been Chiquinho has been delivering anytime we put him into the microscope of about performances, but I think he's struggling with the position of uh not, I don't know exactly what it is, second striker, number 10, uh but he's too high on the pitch, and he lacks for me a lot of efficiency with the last shot, the last pass when he's that up high, and it's frustrating because against team like that today, you had better to do. I mean, we had the control for the first half, and it's the I'm gonna say it, but it's the kind of games in which Fortunis most likely would have scored during the first half. Like, one or two situation around the area. Yeah, we knew when he left that it would be super difficult to replace the quality of shots he had, and in, I do consider Chiquinho being a more complete player than Fortunis, but the ability Fortunis had to score almost out of nowhere is in my opinion maybe the last pieces that would turn this team into a way better team. Because if you uh, had the resilience and the achievements we've done so far, uh, just had a Fortunis on that, maybe it would been fantastic. Not current Fortunis, probably out of Saudi Arabia, but the Fortunis of the last game of Conference League, when he knew how to press and run to defend and stuff.
I think little tidbit that we'll give from the transfer corner. We know that the club wants another box to box number 8, which is what Chiquinho is. Remember, when we brought Chiquinho in before Mendilibar became our coach, Chiquinho was an 8. He was a box to box player. He was converted by Mendilibar for that pressing role, primarily in the last season, more so than in the season before. But he got transitioned into that role because he can do the pressing and he's smart. And when he's playing well, our press is on a different level. But when he's not playing well, we don't have any other options. Or when he needs to come off, we don't have any other options that can do it like him. So, Martial, I think most of your comments were spot on. And I also agree with Lakis Gavalas in that to me is the more important signing to make. It's a signing that Mendilibar did not want for various reasons. But I think now, especially with all these outgoings and shuffling we see in the team, that is what I want big time. Because I think for the press, it means a huge deal. I also do want a center back. I'm not going to lie. I would like, from the summer, I wanted a veteran center back. Maybe we'll see what happens. I mean, guys, we've got the Greek window closes February 6th. We've got less than a week. We've got 5 days. The European list is due not tomorrow. The 3rd. Is it tomorrow or the 3rd the European list is due?
Good question.
I think it might be tomorrow, guys, the 2nd. Or maybe it's the 3rd. All I know is the Greek window ends on the 6th, but I will double check that. Because for Europe, man, I mean, we Andre Luiz will be one change, maybe Yazici will be another, but we definitely need to have another center back, guys, for sure. Like a center back that is much more of a veteran.
What did you guys think about the fact that Yazici was put in as a number 10 today for the first time this season? You think, because like we've been talking about this in Patreon and in our own chat, I can't, like, up until today, I couldn't see how he stays. You just brought in Andre Luiz, and all season Mendilibar's been playing him out on the right. He's not going to have any more minutes there now that Andre Luiz is in. Knock on wood, like he's healthy. But I was surprised to see him come on and play as a 10. What do you guys think? Do you think he still has... Does he still have a lifeline under Mendilibar? Is he going to get usage? Do you think he's going to get on the lists? What do we think?
It's
whether he gets on the list or not, I really believe if he doesn't, it's, by the way, it's the 5th, February 5th is when the list is needs to be. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get out within the next 24 hours. I think the Turkish deadline, the deadline for the Turkish league is after that, so maybe he can get his way out there. Most of Europe will be over. I believe that we know that the player is very interested in seeing what the list situation will be. We know that. So I think he will at least stay, of course, until he finds that out. If he ends up not on the UEFA list again, then...
But that's tight, isn't it? Because, I mean, if it's the 5th and the transfer deadline is the 6th, then he's only got options on the Turkish market. What kind of options is he going to get from Turkey? He's not going to get, he's not going to get offers from Fenerbahce or Galatasaray or teams that are going to be playing Champions League next season. It's going to be like...
Right.
I think he's getting Trabzonspor at best.
Isn't that his former club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it honestly, it's a very good question because on one side, it's sure that he's going to have opportunities if he stays, even if not that much. But when he came in today, you probably saw why he can't be a starter in terms of intensity, but also he is more useful to me than Nascimento, if we do have to compare, because he can create a lot with less, with very little, and he probably should have scored the situation that led to the penalty. But the fact that he can create that out of nowhere proves that, to me, is almost what Fortunis was before Mendilibar. Probably not as good, but if you take the risk to allow Yazici to express itself as a number 10, he's going to create something. I'm not going to say he's going to score every time, but he's going to have shots, good passes, and stuff. And to answer the comment of Lakis Gavalas, this is basically how he survived that long in Lille, because he was decisive more time than he wasn't. And that's the similar way Fortunis did it with Olympiacos for so many years. The big difference is that Lille wasn't competing for winning the leagues. They did it, that is true, but the pressure wasn't the same. So when you're Lille and you sign Yazici, you don't expect you drilled around the guy, and he had ACL too, so it was a major change in his career because he wasn't made to be in Olympiacos right now if he didn't have any ACL, in my opinion. But he had to go back on loan. I think he went to Russia, if I'm not mistaken. When he was in Lille, they sent him to Russia, and then he bounced back. So the only thing that would probably have Yazici leave would be starting jersey with Besiktas, probably. That's the best offer he can get, in my opinion. Besiktas, Trabzonspor, one of those two. Can he be registered instead of Nascimento? That's the question.
That's, I think, the best argument. One of the best arguments you can make
Because
is that, okay, we took Diogo into the UEFA list, but when did he play? I think he came on some minutes in one of the first 2 games, but essentially he hasn't featured at all. And it's very clear right now in terms of our central midfield that Scipioni's starting to break in. Mouzakitis is on a downer in terms of form. Even when he came on today, he looked out of place physically. Yeah. Quite worrying from my point of view. And Scipione, man, on Wednesday against Ajax when he came in, he got me hyped at the end of the game, man. Those 2-3 interceptions he made in a row that led to the corner, and he grew into the game today as well. By the way, I thought that the first 20 minutes, like I said, it was nothing special to watch as a game. And then, like I said, we controlled it and he grew into the game. He was, getting his interceptions. So in terms of Diogo's time on the field, his lack of ability to support the pressing scheme that Mendilibar wants, then it becomes okay, I have these two players, and I think Marshall said it perfectly. Yazici can do more with less. Just give him a little bit of space, that little inch outside the box, and he can take a shot 9 times out of 10, he'll hit the target. Or even more so, if you get a set piece and he's on for 10 minutes at the end of the game, fresh legs, you know that you've got a dead ball specialist on the pitch. And that's something that you can't say about Diogo. That instantly gives him an edge, in my opinion, in terms of the UEFA list.
But we also need to qualify. And it's different. Like, we don't have anything to build anymore in the Champions League. It's going to be 2 games. We need game changers. If we go into, it's another phase of the Champions League. I'm curious to see if Mendilibar thinks that way. Think, okay, we needed Nascimento because he could press and stuff, but now we're entering like big games for big guys, big characters, and we need someone that is able to take the shot when it matters, to have the right cross and right set pieces if you need to score a late goal and stuff. And that would make sense to register Yazici for those games. Just like pulling the NBA superstar once you made the qualification. We know how football works sometimes. It's like using Tassos Donis to qualify for the Euro, and you register Carezas to play it. That would be a similar situation for me.
I think, to be honest with you, the way forget how Yazici views this. Like, if you're the club, I think so. Right now, depending on how you rate Clayton, right? Depending on how you rate Clayton, Clayton is on the list, obviously, and so is Andre Luiz. I think you probably wait a couple of days to see if you can materialize the quote unquote number 8 that you want. If you can materialize it before the 5th.
Are you talking about a transfer? Are you talking about a transfer? Are you talking about a transfer?
Yes. So if it doesn't come in, you add Yazici. But if it does come in, you don't add Yazici. I'm just being pragmatic here. I love Yazici personally. I think he's a great player, even if he doesn't fit Mendilibar's system. But the way the club sees him, Mendilibar doesn't care. So I think, they know they have him there. He's probably okay to stay. He's been a professional this whole season, despite his usage, which has been unfair in my opinion. But I really do think that at this point they're going to say, okay, let's wait and see. If they don't get the 8 they want, they bring Yazici in. Otherwise, he probably doesn't get included on the list if we do bring the 8 we wanted.
How realistic do you think it is that we sign an 8, Ari, given players we have in that position right now? And what does that mean? I mean, surely from what we know as well, managers already said, I don't want more players. Signing a player means a player leaves. So does that mean Diogo goes out on loan, or what's the scenario there?
Well, so there's 3 aspects. There's 3 aspects of this, and we know this from the information we have, right? So we know we've already got 3 departures. Yaremchuk, Strafetza, Gustavo Mancha's loan appears to be on the way as well. There's a 4th departure that's supposed to be happening before the 6th. Now, he's not on the list. He's not impacting, but he does impact the roster because Mendilibar doesn't leave everybody out, and that's Ruben Vezo. So there should be a 4th departure in addition to the 3 aforementioned, right? So you make that fourth departure. Okay, Clayton comes in. If I'm not forgetting about anybody, then you should have space for one more. And Mendilibar has his 23-man roster. We're not counting Pneumonides anymore because him and Liatsikoras are
B team.
on the B team full time.
But then wouldn't you be signing a centre back instead of a CM? The numbers don't add up. Then you've got a player that's not playing.
It would have to be, then it would be like a Diogo, right? It would be a player like Diogo that would either go on loan, or Mendilibar says, I'm okay keeping one extra player, Diogo,
but that's
going from there.
Likelihood of that is low.
Right. But I don't think Mendilibar looks at this position, right, as another midfielder, right? He's not looking at this quote unquote number 8 we're bringing as another midfielder. He's looking at it as what he's going to use in the 10. That's how he views Chiquinho. Chiquinho is not considered a midfielder. He's considered part of the front line. So right now, the way he looks at it is, okay, I just got Andre Luiz. I now have Clayton. I have Podence. I have Gelson Martins. And I have Yazici. So that's what he's considering right now. So Mendilibar is saying no to that because he already thinks he has a crowded front line. And that's how he's thinking about it. So realistically, I don't think the number 8 is going to come in. That's probably going to take a lot more pushing from the board to do. I think it was pretty clear based on the moves that were made that some pressure was applied to Mendilibar. Some pressure had to be, because up until this point, he didn't want players, didn't want anybody. Now all of a sudden, there's players going, there's players coming in. Forget Andre Luiz. He wanted Andre Luiz. Clayton is not a player Mendilibar asked for. Clayton is not a player that was highly rated by Olympiacos. He was an easier get. He's a good player, and he was an accessible player because he's within the group. So I think it's very clear that there was some give somewhere. We know Mendilibar doesn't want a big squad. He probably had to pick players to leave. Those are the 3 players he wants. We know Vezo's going to go too before anything could be considered. So there's this is the situation. I don't think it's likely an 8 comes, but it is what it is.
Guys, I need to leave. Just wanted to conclude on the fact that I don't think we're going to get a center back. And I'm going to end by a question. If we do get a center back, which one between Retsos and Pirola goes to the bench? That's the only question I have. If we do sign a good center back.
Neither.
No, but you can't sign a center back that isn't intended to be a starter.
I don't think it'll matter.
I think the it's like in basketball when you're like, oh, should we sign a third center? Should we get Tyreek Jones? Or because we've got anyway. What I'm trying to say is, we both know at the end of the day that Retsos and Pirola are pretty prone to injury. So you need that backstop. I won't even call it a backstop. You need a third player, a high quality centre back in between those two, to give you. It's an insurance policy, basically. But it's to your point. Like, you want a quality centre back to come in that should be counted as a starter. And Biancon is not a starter in an Olympiacos team that wins the league. But he's a squad / backup player for those that play Football Manager. He's a backup player. He's not even a squad rotation player, in my view, in that squad. He's a utility player. But it's that's why I said it's a hard one to find. See you, Martial.
Take care, Martial.
Can I just say on the centre mid topic, I think the solution's quite easy. Bye, Danny Garcia. Bring in, because look, do you know
every person here agrees with that.
No,
everybody in the chat, I think everyone agrees. The only person who doesn't agree is Mendilibar, and that's the problem.
No, wait, but was it the game against our last game at home? Our last game at home, he got subbed off, and he had a tiff. He didn't shake the manager's hand when the manager leaned over to shake his hand off the bench. he just kind of walked head down to go and sit. Since then, 0 minutes. Scipione all of a sudden, the first one off the bench to come on, starts the game today. So is the writing on the wall finally for Dani Garcia? Does he bring in an offer from a Segunda team in Spain or Turkey or I don't know where? Is he looking for a club? You can't neglect that. The fact that Dani Garcia has gone from Mendilibar's guy every game to 0 minutes.
Costa, I really hope the writing's on the wall for him. Man, forget waiting for a sale. Just cut the contract. He's not making a lot of money here anyway. He's on one of the lighter contracts of the team. At that point, man, I would just cut it, pay him the dead money you owe him, just so he can be out. Like, man, that would be the easiest. And I hope that's the case because while I respect what he's done, right? I respect the good things he's done. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's past him. I think he's done. I think he's done for football.
Now, he contributed
at this club. He
contributed last season. The last 5 months, like he was good. He was good 4 or 5 months last season. But this season, man, it's like we could like I have, and I think the fan base has higher expectations, and I'm tired of shitting on him personally. We talk about him nearly every week, and like I said, we have come to that point now where even the manager's not trusting him visibly from what we see. So
yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So am I. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of bringing it up all the time. I really am. So just counting down. I'm just counting down the minutes until finally we don't have to talk about it anymore. I really am. It's one of those things, but I can't these days, unless he does something stupid, which is, pretty frequently, unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's, it is what it is. I just hope we don't have to, hope we don't have to deal with it anymore. And then we'll see. And then we have space for maybe Liatsikuras or something. So.
Oh man, I'm reading that there's, some things have happened behind the scenes today at halftime after the game. I think some people in the chat have mentioned it. We should mention it as well. Olympiacos VP Karapapas has come out and made some statements after the game. I'm reading it now. It says somebody with a press badge and a hoodie was swearing and spitting at Zoolakis throughout the entire halftime break, I guess. It says έβριζε και έφτιανε τον Zoolakis όλο το ημίχρονο. The president of AEK attacked even Mendilibar.
Yeah, he spit on him. There was somebody shared with me a headline that said he spit on Mendilibar.
Yeah, it says, we're Olympiacos, we've grown up in neighborhoods and we won't accept this type of bullying or hooliganism. That's crazy, man. Like, I mean, I can understand being gutted and frustrated at the end of the game when you're leading 1-0 and you eat an equalizer in the last minute, but really, like you said, the penalty looks clear cut. Their goal has come from an offside. None of them have said anything about that. And it's just sad to see people reacting that way to a football game. It's still, the Greek football keeps giving with these things. But I see Ari's dropped out. I think it's getting late here, European time. We're midnight, Central Europe. It's 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. in Greece. Probably time for bed. We've been with you for an hour. I'm going to close it out. We'll be back later this week with the Greek show, Thrillos Padou, with Vangelis and I to talk some more. There's the game on Wednesday against Asteras Tripolis. There's EuroLeague action this week. I believe we're playing Dubai, and we've got another game as well. Help me in the chat. Who have we got? We've got Dubai on the 3rd, and we've got Bologna at home. So away in Dubai, team travel today, and we've got Bologna on the 6th. So that's the 6th is a Friday at Peace and Friendship Stadium. Good way to close it out, guys. Don't miss the Greek show later on in the week. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. You get notified every time we go live. If you haven't watched the vlog from Amsterdam, I had a lot of fun doing that. Evidently, it's a 10, 12-minute vlog. Go and check it out. Leave a like on the live stream. Again, subscribe. Keep up to date with all things Olympiacos. We're your #1 international source for Olympiacos news in English and in Greek. Thanks for following. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.